I think my perspective changed a little bit, especially where I was working and in advertising in general. I think the whole media landscape changing really changed things a lot, right? How many artists have dropped music this year, right? Drake, Justin Bieber, Tyler, so many, right?
True.
But apparently at the time in the US, there was no song of the summer. And every year there's always a song of the summer, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's competition everywhere, right?
There is competition everywhere. And now there is even competition on content. From the consumer's point of view, they are seeing more than 100 pieces of content. And 100 is a conservative guess.
Hi guys, we're kicking off season 2 of the Powerhouse podcast, and we have a heavyweight with us, Kasozi Tizomu. Drumroll! If you've touched the marketing, creative, and Afro house scene, then you know he has his fingerprints all over. By day, he's a strategy director at Creativedge, shaping campaigns that shift the culture. And by night, he's a DJ of the Sunset Groove, where he is deep house, with the heartbeat of Nairobi, music in Nairobi, and creating a culture, right? A movement, a community. And in between, he is building Muse Money Africa, which is changing the financial game for African creators.
Thank you so much.
Karibu.
Thank you so much for having me. And we both love chapos.
Oh, we both love chapos,
Most
by the
importantly.
way. If you know Kasozi, you know he loves chapo and you know he loves football. You are in a league, right?
Yeah, we are in a league. We have a team called Net 6 and Chill.
Ooh, nice.
And yeah, we are currently number 4 in the tail end of a very interesting league. But the chapos are holding me back from getting to my full football stamina. But
We need to get you into a keto diet then.
yeah. Next season maybe. Next season.
Actually, I think I saw you one day posting something, I think in the league, and I don't know what the millennials are doing.
That's true. It's so interesting. I think, especially now, Nairobi has so many interesting football communities.
Yeah.
And we used to just train and just play around every Mondays and Thursdays. And then one of the teammates is called Esteban. He came and was like, "There's a league. Do you guys want to enter?" And we signed up. We got T-shirts. We have a home jersey and an away jersey.
Wow.
And yeah, it's quite interesting. Quite the journey, actually. I think I do get to live my childhood dream. Only this time I pay for it and they don't pay me.
Adulting. I love it. So I remember that we were the first time we had a conversation about having an episode was during, I think, Maandamano.
Yeah,
when we were fighting for our
that's
lives.
true. Yeah, I remember that.
In this government. And one of the things you wanted us to talk about was an article that you had written about the African creator economy.
Yep.
And that being affected by late payments. Right?
Yep.
And I'm just like mind blown because, I deal with creators and I consider myself a creator. So I think I'd want us to get into that first.
Sure thing.
Right.
I remember the title for that was, I think, The Silent Resistance, or The Silent Creative Uprising, actually. That's what it was.
Uprising.
And the whole topic that we were writing about was about, I think, the most painful problem for creatives, right? Which is almost always delayed payments, right? I think when we did research, about more than 95%, almost, you could almost just say 100% of creatives have, encountered this kind of problem at some point. It is the biggest problem for them. It holds back them from growing. It, steals from the collaboration that they're trying to do, steals from the African creative economy. And I do think there is something we can do about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's get into it, because I'm actually doing a project, and we were managing the influencers.
Nice.
And one of the things we said that we were going to do is protect the influencers. And of course, we did tend to have a tiff with the client, and we're just like, we're not going to give you influencers if ABCD doesn't happen. So I think my first question is, how long does it take ideally for a creator, let me just say a creator, to be paid ideally?
That's an interesting question. I think the range is between 15 days to 180 days.
That's insane.
And it used to be worse.
Oh.
It looks like, and we're not in anywhere near an ideal place, but it used to be worse than that, right? At least now you do find that there is some clients who will make a special consideration, and change some process in the finance department that can allow creatives to be paid at least in 30 days.
Yeah.
Right. But those are only the creatives or the creative freelancers who are in retainer type of projects, right?
Okay.
So if you're signed up with a brand, and it's maybe for a 6-month period, they could allow you to be paid every 30 days. But for the rest of the ocean, it's just as bad. It's horrible. I think everyone we spoke to has gone through, including myself, both as a creative freelancer, whether I'm doing strategy or whether I'm doing DJing, we face this problem every single time.
That's totally insane. Because this is an individual, this is a freelancer, this is not a company that has the financial backing to be able to go like 180 days or even 60 days, which is crazy.
Absolutely. And I think and you've hit the nail there when you say that this is a person, right? This is someone who pays rent every month, right? The landlord is expecting that. They eat every day.
Yeah.
They buy internet, they move around, they pay for, whatever, creative platforms they have to sort of pay for. So it's almost impossible for them to do anything if they have to wait for 90 days to get a payment. It's you're stunting their growth in a way that you can't imagine.
Especially their creativity, It's crazy. So do you think it's cultural problem within the organizations? That's where we need to first address the issue.
I think that's an interesting one, because the way we see it is that we see it as a power imbalance, right? And if you look at where the money is coming from versus where the money is actually going to, you kind of see who has the power, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. For a creative, if you don't pay me in 30 days, or if you don't pay me in less than that, right? As soon as I finish the project, right? You are so blind to the reality of my life. You don't know what I probably have to walk home now, right? I probably have to get onto a digital lender and get a loan to survive the rest of the week, right? I do feel like in a very interesting way, both sides don't understand. By both sides, I mean the creative side, the creative's point of view, and the business's point of view don't see each other struggle in the back. Because at the same time, and I'm not in any way trying to blame the creatives, but businesses also don't function like people.
Yeah.
They can't just make a decision like a person does. There's a whole system. There's 5 signatories who have to sign for any money to be, to leave the organization. So, at the same time, even when we're highlighting the problem for creative, we're also not trying to bash the businesses. The conflict comes from this disconnect. They don't understand each other's point of view, and that's what we feel if we create a solution or create solutions that can kind of try and streamline that, it will optimize their collaboration to another level.
I love it. So there's no blame game here. We're just trying to see what the issue is.
Absolutely.
And then come with a solution. And
Sure.
I know you started Muse Money Africa, right? Tell us a little bit more about that.
So Muse Money Africa was an interesting conversation. I think in late 2024, well, late 2023, right? I think I decided that I was done with employment.
Cheers.
Well, not anymore now, but
I
then
see you
I
entered
was.
back the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I was, right? And I felt like it was time for us to create some kind of solution. I had no idea what it was going to be, right? So I joined Antler, I think in 2024, around March. And Antler is an interesting type of organization, and they help, founders come from, if you have no idea, you could just sign up for Antler, and over 3 months, by the time you're leaving, you'll have an idea, a co-founder, and a fully fledged startup, right?
Yeah. And sometimes funding.
And sometimes funding if you make the cut. But at least that's, 3 months kind of put me in an echo chamber where I got to actually think about what the solution was. What I initially thought I was trying to solve, I don't think, eventually I ended up to something much more specific. They do a lot of training that kind of helps sharpen how you think through your value propositions and stuff.
Yeah.
So by the time I was leaving Antler, I think I was very bang on in terms of what I knew we were going to solve. And the biggest problem was the tail end of this whole process, which is the payments, right? But, never got funding from them, right? So I had to go figure this out by myself. But along the way, I bumped into some people, some colleagues I used to work with, Sarah Katusia, who was media director at WPP, now I think CEO for Belva Digital.
Wow.
And Alan Mwaniki, who was also creative director at Scanad back then, now doing amazing things out here. And we were just like, actually, we are all in the same mind space about this, right? And we decided to take on the issue. And that's fast forward to where we are today.
Okay. So when you say at the tail end, so what solution are you providing now, like for the influencers? Are you providing like a platform where like they can be easily paid, or are you coming in as maybe like an agency that now solves that problem or that hassle of them like getting paid?
Yeah, good question. Initially, I thought the innovation was going to be around that discovery of an influencer and managing the workflows and the work streams and the communication with the clients. But I'm not saying there are no problems there, but I do feel the biggest problem is at the tail end. It's in the payments, right? This usually happens from people have their own way of finding and identifying the right creator. Nowadays there are platforms that do this, right, in a very, very smart way, right? But the part that has not been figured out is the end, right? Which is when, after the work has been done, how fast does this person get paid? How efficient, how streamlined is that process, right? That's where I felt the biggest challenge is, and we kind of jumped in there. I could almost say that when we were conceptualizing this, there was no one who was doing this in the market.
Yeah.
Now I think there is something. I think I saw an initiative by Wowzy and Hiva Fund to sort of try and solve the same solution. And I welcome and I love when other people are also thinking about this, because I do feel we all need some kind of solution to collaborate around building a solution towards that. That's the only way we're going to make this sustainable business and employment for African creatives.
Okay, that's really dope. So if any creative wants to find your platform, where would they go and how would they sign up? What's the process? How does it look?
Sure thing. So that's a good question, because before I answer that, I'll tell you about where we have been and where we are today. We've spent the last couple of months. We launched our pilot in April. Initially, we had our own assumptions about how it was going to work. Initially, it was very heavily B2B, and we were trying to, initially try and, speak to the people who actually, bring the influencers or the, creatives on board.
Yeah.
But we've also figured out probably, the person who's really feeling the pain is the creative, right?
true.
And that's the person we need to target initially, at the very first point. So now where we are obviously trying to scale our small solution, still a small solution.
But a good solution.
But a great solution. So you can probably, if you go to our website, musemoney.africa, you can find a bit more information on how to get in touch with us. If you go on our Instagram page, musemoney Africa, @musemoney Africa, you can, we have a couple of links there that will, take in your information and, we'll start having a conversation. But again, like I said, we're still very much in the early stages of, testing out our go-to market here. So the way we're looking at it, or the vision, is to, eventually make this super, super seamless.
Yeah.
Where you can just probably have an app or, find a web app and you can easily apply. And, we obviously, even in the background, currently we can probably approve a payment in about 48 hours. And we're trying to work to, make that a lot more shorter. So yeah.
I loved it. I love it. So let me ask a question, because I'm just thinking about like the creator, the experience about them being paid. Is this like a phased payment approach something that could be feasible for a creator to think about? Like, let me get a down payment before I start my work, right? So at least one, there's motivation and I'm sorted, right? To be able to do A, B, C, D, and also just be in my creative bag. And then, just have like, a phased approach as opposed to me waiting 180 days.
At the very end. So I'll tell you how we're thinking through that. So there are many challenges, especially when it comes to finance, right? Remember, I don't think there's any financial solution that addresses working capital for creatives.
True.
If you get a job today and you have to hire a bunch of cameras and mics and go shoot in a different location, it's impossible for you to get any kind of financing other than your money, right? So there are many challenges, but we felt the first place we could start, right, is just trying to get you paid earlier.
Okay.
Right? The way the solution kind of works is basically an invoice financing solution. So by the time you're raising an invoice, you've already completed the work, right? And in that way, we are able to finance that invoice, right? And we're able to get a confirmation from your client that we're going to pay this person because they have completed the work and we've received their invoice, right? To be fair, that's the easiest place to start, right? But there is more. The way we're looking at it is that we're trying to build almost a parallel financial infrastructure for creatives. All the way from getting paid early to, accessing working capital, like you're saying, if you're trying to start up something and you have a project and you need some muscle, some financial muscle to, execute it, to things like saving, right? To things like asset finance, getting, imagine if you had to buy a new camera, buy a new laptop, right?
Yeah.
It's so difficult for creators to do that if they're not necessarily just, putting money aside, right? So how can we help that? How can we even have insurance solutions that sort of cover you when you're not getting gigs? Because you know how
the gig economy.
You know how it works.
Yeah.
You start really well, and then sometimes it dips, and then sometimes it's highs and lows, right?
Yeah.
So how can we protect you in the lows, right? And no one is thinking about that, right?
That's true. And I'm assuming by also doing that, they can be able to credit score.
Exactly.
So hopefully in the future, partnering with financial institutions to
100%.
Yeah.
That's why no one wants to do the heavy lifting. And before I get into a rant, but no one wants to do the heavy lifting, and the heavy lifting is starting to, like you're saying, build information on these people, right? I think the tech industry, especially in Kenya, has done a lot of that for farming, right? There was a time farmers couldn't get a loan on, if you didn't have 100 acres, you could not secure a loan. But they were able to build these kinds of mechanisms that track their performance. And from that, you can, sort of extrapolate and understand this is how much money they're going to make eventually. We need to do the same thing for the creative economy.
I love it. And this is a creative genius solving creative problems. Like Kasozi.
Trying to solve. I don't know.
This is for you.
Thank you.
I love it. I love what you're doing. I love what Money Muse Africa is doing. And please, guys, check it out.
Please check it out.
Yeah. I'll be one of the first ones.
Definitely.
I love it. So now I want to go to your DJ days.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
Because
the fun part.
Yeah. No, that was also fun for me because I'm just like, I love making money. I love getting money early, like
doing what you love.
Exactly. But money is a motivation.
Absolutely.
But I also love music, and you're a DJ, you've been in the DJ scene, and I think I had actually seen Sunset Groove on Instagram, and at first I didn't even know you were involved, and then now I think they were having something at Liquor Library, a recording session, like a live recording, right? And then we got there and I was like, of course it's Kasozi.
Of course it's here. Can't avoid him.
Culture, community, like he's making waves. And that was really nice. It was such a nice live recording, just community based. It just felt really nice.
Thank you so much.
And then next thing you know, I see Kasozi has a team, he's making waves, and I'm just like, wow. So maybe let's start from the beginning. Sure.
I've always been a house music fan, right? Ever since, I think one time when I was probably in high school, my brother is about six years older than me. He went to uni and came back with some fantastic music taste. I don't know where. He just went and collected.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I've never listened to this before because you couldn't probably catch it on radio back then.
Yeah, that's true.
You never had access to people like, Armin van Buren, David Guetta, Hardwell, Afrojack. That EDM era in the early 2010s. Anyway, from that, I really, just fell in love with the sound. A friend of mine introduced me to Heavy K, and that was actually, interestingly, my especially Heavy K in the early days.
Yeah.
So that was my intro into Afro house, and I was like, this sound is insane.
So good.
Right? So ever since then, I always tell people, I don't literally listen to other music genres. I only listen to house music, and it sounds really, really bad, but it's because there's no other genre that makes me feel the way house music does. So anyway, fast forward, I always wanted to be a DJ. I used to be that guy who, when there's music playing and I'm probably having people over at my house, I'm sort of like
mixing
on the counter, right?
I love it.
You even know where the drop is coming. And, my friends used to make fun of me for that. But then one day I was like, I should do this, I should just do this for fun. Just get, some decks, put them in the house and start playing. And one day I decided to do that. I know my girlfriend is going to kill me for this, but
hey, Vanessa.
I got into a fight with her, and I was trying to just, block the noise, right? And that day it was just like random Saturday morning. I went to town.
Yeah.
I went to downtown, right? I was going to curse. I don't know if you can curse here, but I went to freaking downtown.
Yeah.
And to a random music shop, and I got a bunch of decks and brought them back home and started playing. A couple months later, I got a little bit more confident, started talking to other DJs, and I spoke to this guy called Marcus Monroe. Fantastic DJ, and he invited me to play at wherever he was playing, which was at KO Craft Room. This is 2023 actually. And that's kind of how Sunset Groove started, because there is where I met our other co-creators, Sunset Groove co-creators, Iborian and Eric K.
Yeah.
We ran that gig for about a month or two, and we decided to go start a full thing. That's when Sunset Groove was born. We moved to Grapes, I don't know if you've been to Two Grapes.
I've been there once.
Yeah.
Yes.
Two Grapes was our location for about a year. Yeah. And that's how Sunset Groove was born. Beautiful community. Sunset Groove belongs to the people. I always say
It's true.
everybody almost has an ownership to it just because of just how different it is, and the kind of love we get, the kind of sound we play. All the other DJs, Ibori and Eric K, fantastic DJs and producers now. So please check out their music.
And the energy is just good.
And the energy is beautiful.
Exactly.
That's where we are.
Yeah. All right. I love it. And I also understand you when you say you just listen to house, because
I usually just listen to house.
I feel like house these days I'm into 3-step, right? I'm telling you the energy it gives you. Sometimes I'm always like, it's spiritual.
I know.
Yeah, it's spiritual.
It's such a spiritual sound. I don't know if it's laced with so much. It feels like, because it's very progressive and it's very modern in terms of sound, but then it also has this connection with, it feels ancestral almost, right?
Exactly.
So it feels like it's this fusion of the future and the past and the history coming together in a beautiful, no other genre can do that.
Been able to do that. The frequency, guys. Lock
It's
into the frequency.
It's the frequency.
You've mentioned Two Grapes, and I remember I had friends who would religiously go there every Friday.
Yeah.
So that was you guys.
That was us guys.
Okay, now it makes sense. And now you guys have evolved, and now you have residency in a couple of places.
In a couple of places, yeah. So after Two Grapes, I think this is an important part of it. The reason why we actually left Two Grapes was one day we got raided by Nairobi City Council for noise infringement. Actually, they did it twice. First time, one of our guys, Eric K, was arrested. Second time, I was the one who was arrested.
Ulienda ndani.
Left, came out in the morning, spent the whole night, by the way. We spent the whole night driving around in a convoy of about 20 cars, right? And
looking for other places
that were violating noise, right? And that's how we spent the whole night till about like 4 a.m. And we were taken to Kamkunji. And then the police station was full.
Wow.
And they took us to...
It's full of DJs.
Well, it's probably full of DJs and club owners. Then we went to Nairobi, the one in the city, the police station in the city, that was also full. We ended up in Langata. I have never... This was like a tour of police stations. Ended up in Langata, left in the morning, but they had already, obviously had to pay some bail.
Yeah.
They had confiscated all our equipment. They'd really, twice was a heavy hit for us, and we had to rethink our model a little bit more. After that, actually, it kind of also, gave us new opportunities, brought new opportunities, because that's when we started gigging at Coda. Then we had a club night residency at Coda, which was very interesting because we used to, we are very, we're in the golden hour, the sunset hour, We'd never gotten into the night. Exactly, and that kind of gave us the opportunity to transfer the golden hour into the night. And that was also a very beautiful place and experience as well. It was also in that year that we did our anniversary, which was massive. We brought our first international DJs. We had Chronicle Deep from SA, if you know Deep House.
Guys.
You know what Chronicle Deep does, right?
Yeah.
And my homie from Uganda, he's called Hola Jefe. He's now gigging in Europe. He's had a couple of residencies in Ibiza. So that was a fantastic show. We're also trying to do it again this year, so stay tuned.
Inshallah.
Stay tuned to that.
We will buy tickets.
For sure. And then, so we moved, and then obviously, night is great, but we still want to maintain our
day culture.
Exactly, the day party culture. So in this year, actually, we tried to do a day party, right? At a very nice looking rooftop, right?
Oh, yes.
And it went fantastic. The first one went fantastic, and then we got shut down.
Oh, by what, Kanjo or just
Not even by Kanjo this time. This time it was by somebody else who gigs there.
Oh, okay.
Somebody else who gigs there.
Yeah.
And if you follow, if you're in the Afro House circles, you know.
I've clicked already.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And we thought that was unfair, right?
True.
They claimed that we were copying their style, copying their vibe, which I don't think was true, you know.
Yeah.
So we decided to speak up about it. And what was interesting was the can of worms we opened, right? And how many people came out to say, you know, this has happened to us. This happens to when I was trying to do a gig there, or when I was trying to do something. And it was crazy, just how much of a conversation that became. But also what was also really beautiful for us was the amount of people who were in support of Sunset Groove.
Yeah.
Till today, people still stop me and they're like, you're the guy who wrote
About this and this.
Sunset Groove. We're big fans. There's people who now became fans because of that.
Yeah.
So we're super glad we did that. I think the scene it made a small impact in the industry. I think you see a lot more collaboration now, a lot more, even the same people try to bring more
And
Kenyan DJs. And you know what? If that was a result of this, fantastic.
thank you. Because I would also like
That was the
to
point.
speak on that before we move forward. Just also having my hands like in, you know, the music industry and in the music space.
Yes, you do, by the way.
Yes, and there tends to be a lot of gatekeeping, and it's crazy because I'm just like, we're all creators, right? We should be there to support each other, elevate each other, because it's just the only way we're gonna grow
Absolutely.
and blow up.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and there's so much room for all of us. Like,
There is too much
because
room.
if you think about the amount of Afro DJs that have come up, it's insane.
Now.
Yeah. And, you know, like, I'm so glad you were brave enough to even have that conversation and speak about it, because, yeah, we really don't need that at all.
Absolutely. We don't need that. We say groove, don't gatekeep.
Yeah.
Gatekeeping creates nothing beneficial to anyone other than the gatekeepers, which is the whole point. But yeah, it doesn't just happen, like you said, like it's not just in Afro House, it's in the entire creative industry for some reason, actually. Even in advertising or in influencer circles, you always do hear things about gatekeeping, but that is not how you grow. That's not how you grow the scene.
True.
And when we grow the scene, when we expand it, right, because we create more audiences and more people get interested and more people start coming for your shows or listening to your podcast, or you can't gatekeep. It's I call it poverty of ambition. That's what that is.
Scarcity mindset. Yeah, so there's space for all of us, right?
100%. And I think we just need to say no. It's so easy to be gatekeepers, by the way.
Yeah.
There's nothing like gatekeeping,
Exactly.
It's not an actual gate. It's a mental gate.
True.
So I think it's very easy you just need to speak up against it, and it changes completely.
I love it. And so now you guys have made Sundays and sometimes Saturdays a bash.
Yes.
We've been struggling on Mondays because of that.
Yes.
Kasozi.
That's our job. Actually, now we have a beautiful partnership with 15 Rooftop.
Oh, nice.
It's the best view of the Nairobi National Park. We have a very fantastic partnership with Gecko as well. I know they keep people awake or suffering on Mondays a lot.
True.
But fantastic spot as well. We have an upcoming partnership. I don't know if I can say it, but we have an upcoming show with Mass House.
Yeah.
We might be going down to Kilifi this year. Ooh. So stay tuned.
Is that in December?
That's in December.
Okay, so we should start aligning our pockets.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, you're doing great things. And I've just noticed a pattern. It was around 2023, 24 is when you birthed Sunset Groove, and as well as Make Money
Muse Money.
Muse Money.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Muse
yeah.
Money Africa as well.
True.
Have you noticed it was during that time?
True. Very good observation. I think my perspective changed a little bit, especially where I was working and in advertising in general. I think the whole media landscape changing really changed things a lot, right? And it got me thinking about a couple of things. I think we have to now try to adopt to whatever is happening out there, right? I think there's something interesting, actually. The best way to answer this is there's a video by Lizzo, right? And she speaks about how the media fragmentation has affected music. And she says that it's almost, okay, so she starts with the fact that how many artists have dropped music this year, right? Drake, Justin Bieber, Tyler, so many, right?
True.
But apparently at the time in the US, there was no song of the summer. And every year there's always a song of the summer, right? Yeah. And her point was the fact that it's almost impossible to reach people through mass communication, right? Before, if you are the big artist and came from a big label, it was very easy to promote your song, make sure that song is played across because it was a monopoly, right? And they had a captive audience. That has completely changed, right? Right now, if you're not building for your community, you can't reach people. The biggest genre in the fastest growing genre right now is probably Afro House, right? The biggest genre has got to be Afro beats, right? None of these are mass. Now they are mass. They're listened by a lot of people, but they are community-based genres.
That's true.
100%. So
it's almost cult-like.
It's cult-like.
Because I already have my tickets bought for this event, so
100%. So right now, you don't just sell products, you build spaces for cultural participation. And that way is how you're able, if you move your culture, if you move your community, then you move culture. And if you move culture, then you move the whole audience, right? And that's how you reach people. The biggest movie on Netflix is that random movie, the animation from K-pop. Demon Hunters, right? It's either that or the 5th installment of Lion King, right?
That's true, yeah.
That's how difficult it is to introduce new ideas to the world today if they're not serving a particular community. If you try to tailor everything to a mass audience, you dilute it, right? And you end up not solving anything. So I got that kind of realization in parts around 2023. And I was like, I think it's time to build solutions that, one, serve communities, 2, move culture, and 3, just try to, make a difference, whether it's for creatives, freelancers, or it's for, people who listen to music.
Yeah. That was actually a good segue because my next question was in terms of marketing, advertising, and media. What's the shift? And I think you've basically just
I've
answered
just done the
it.
preamble. I'm sorry.
But no, and I think maybe we can just touch a bit more on it. Is especially maybe brands that would look like they can't build a community or culture. How would they look at it? So what's the strategy around that?
I think, there are many schools of thought here, in the sense that marketing has changed, right? Advertising has changed because audiences have changed. And they are in service of audiences and in service of markets, and all that has been disrupted. But that also means that there are so many new opportunities to do things, right? Like I said, you need to build any kind of content, whether it's advertising, whether it's music, whether it's a movie, it needs to serve a community, right? It needs to reflect something that is happening in that community. Otherwise, it's made up, And so that's kind of where I think the shift is moving towards. I think if you speak about advertising, our business has been
affected.
We are like cab drivers, right? Cab drivers when Uber came in. because today, I think, your big tech companies, your Metas and your Facebooks and TikToks, they control over 50% of ad revenue today, right? That was not the case maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, just TVC, above the line.
Exactly. Your big traditional legacy agencies, ran that spot, right? But the truth is, most of them now, globally and locally, they're all struggling a little bit, right? But that also means that we need to also understand that and start innovating. I think there are things we knew and we stuck to those, which is fantastic. But, the needle has shifted. Right now you have, you're competing, if you're an agency and an advertising agency, you're competing with an influencer. Yeah. The influencer sometimes, or most times, has a better idea than a whole team, right? And they can reach the client, right? So that's how wide the market is. Whether you're, creating or coming up with ideas from a coffee shop, or you have a full building full of people, the space, all the advantages have been removed, right? It's like a Royal Rumble and you can all fight each other. Yeah. But the beauty of it is, I think we now have space to create new ideas, create new platforms, not just sell products, Try to do, I love what Standard is doing, Standard the newspaper. I think I'd even written something about it, because using advocacy or leveraging advocacy on whatever is happening in our country at the moment and speaking to those people has been massive for them. I think now that's my only source of information. Yep, right? I
agree.
But you see how we have to kind of get out of, think out of the box a little bit. What we have been saying is
traditional way.
Exactly. Thinking. Move away from that traditional way of thinking and just be a little bit more random now. I say break the rules.
Oh, yeah. Revolution.
100%. That's where we are.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I'm so excited we're having this conversation because I'm so passionate about it.
I know.
Like, I'm glowing even. And because things are changing, right? And one thing that brands, or even like if, you're a solopreneur, is that whether you're selling even, let's say, something hardware, it's not like before where, you just run ads and you're like competitive pricing. No, you have to, there has to be some form of storytelling.
There has to be 100%
connection with your audience to be able to 100%. Just capture them, because there's competition everywhere, right?
There is competition everywhere, and now there is even competition on content. From the consumer's point of view, they are seeing more than 100 pieces of content, and 100 is a conservative guess. Probably like 500, right? They're seeing something funny, something sad, something, fake news, something political, that, and somehow you're there.
Competing for that space.
Competing for the same attention. I think that's the one thing I always try to kind of drive the point home, especially for clients and especially for businesses. People don't actively look out for businesses. I'm not going to lie to you. Unless they have a need, you don't actively go to some business's Instagram page unless I'm trying to buy something.
True.
And so if you're trying to sell to this person, you kind of have to get down to that level, right? They're looking for something funny. They're looking to pass time. They're looking to, connect with other people. How can you hijack that, right? And plug into that in a very natural way. I think there's a few things actually. I'll tell you what I feel like is a shift, right? Yeah. Advertising in the 80s and the 90s started from here, right? It was an alternative to you're watching a movie and you're watching a show and then you get to news and then the ad was coming in between there, right? Yeah. It had to be as interesting as everything else on the plate, right? Then obviously the emergence of digital came, which fragmented everything. And there was a time when digital promised businesses conversions, right? Immediate conversions were better than any traditional channel, better than billboards, better than TV, because you can see the people who are. But is that true? Not really. If I'm not buying, I'm not going to buy just because you sent this ad to my email.
True. The creative is the most
100%. So we are now, that kind of is also leveling out. And now we're getting into this area where everyone is appreciating that for me to sell anything, I have to be as interesting as any other content that they're coming across.
True. Guys, get creative.
You have to.
Even business owners.
You have to. I saw like the randomest ad on TikTok, which were, I don't even know what, some fast food company, and it starts with I don't know if people are gonna get this, but those TikTok videos that are usually like AI generated and they're talking about facts.
Yes.
Right? And they kind of use that for that kind of style for like the first 60% of this 1 minute ad, right? And then it kind of levels off into the ad, right? So when you're watching it, you think you are organically watching a TikTok video, a typical TikTok video.
Yeah.
But by the end, it connects and, segues so nicely into, we're selling burgers and these burgers are fantastic,
The hook, yes.
It's so natural. It's so funny. If you think about Jet 2 Holiday, right?
Yes.
It's hilarious. People have embraced that and they're using it in culture very organically, But if you are sell, that will never get into culture because that's not what people think about all the time.
Exactly.
I think that is something we have to appreciate. And storytelling kind of allows you to do that.
And it's long term. It's the long game.
That's the long game, 100%.
Oh my God, I'm so glad we had this conversation, and I hope this reaches my clients.
I hope so too. Even mine as well.
Right?
We're on the same side. I'm not fighting you.
And something you've done with Creativedge, I saw that was really cool. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. It's a series that you started.
Yep.
And I think that sipping something.
Oh yeah, creative shots.
Yes.
Oh my God. I know my boss is going to be so happy that I get to speak about this here. Shamim. I worked with a guy called Shamim, right?
Yeah.
He's our executive creative director, and he's one of the nice. I used to call him, and I still call him, Chief Happiness Officer. He's just a happy person, and make sure everyone around you is happy. And this is his initiative, and it's trying to basically almost bridge the gap between what's happening in culture and what our clients and stakeholders know, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying to kind of have a very clear pipeline around that. So Creative Shots is basically a very quick initiative where creatives of all kinds get to give other creatives tips on how to be creative, right? And if you go to Creativedge Instagram page, you'll see what that looks like. I think we've had Brian Babu speak about it. I think we've had
Emron
speak about it. We have a couple more people. It's a very quick, almost 30 seconds type thing. And they do take a shot at the end, and we think you should take a shot at the end. But in between that, you learn a few tips.
I love it. And it feels actually like a series.
Yeah, it is. It is a series, and
really
I can't wait to see
dope.
where that goes.
I love it. Now, because we're talking about the wave of where we're going, culture is one of them, right? But also tech and AI is here.
Yep.
And I'm always preaching about AI, and sometimes people look at me like I'm crazy. Other people are just like, relax, girl. Like, it's not going to replace people. But like, what are your thoughts about AI in, the creative industry space?
I think AI is interesting. And I look at AI the same way I looked at social media, the same way we should look at when the internet, when it came in. I don't think its job is to replace you, right? And I think as creatives, we have to be very careful at how we look at technology and how we receive technology, because we have been disrupted before.
Yeah.
This is not the first time. AI is not the first time we're being disrupted. That's what social media did, right? And I think it's very important for people to you need to learn how to live with it.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to use it to your advantage. Because right now it's very green, It's all
in the
fun and games.
learning phase, the machine
We are
learning
all
phase,
in the learning phase, both the machine and us.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's very important for us to be on the right side of technology, because I'm just saying it's happened before and we've been on the wrong end of it. Yep.
So it's just like ignorance is not something that can really lean on right
100%,
now.
100%.
Yeah, just like be aware how you can leverage it.
Yeah.
Because they say AI will not replace jobs, but it will. People who know how to use AI will replace those who don't.
100. That is correct. Because I mean, there's no machine that can be better than a person. I think we also need to kind of step out of that small insecurity.
Yes.
It's not better than you. It can never be better than you.
It can be efficient.
It can be efficient, but it will never be better than you, right?
Exactly.
And I love that you say efficient, because I do feel at the same time the concern is real, because I think different people have different agendas with AI.
Definitely.
Right? The people who are building, or some of the people who are building AI, are their biggest proposition to their investors is that this will reduce your human cost, which is part of it is kind of true, because it can, right? But I want to say it's the same way digital promised clients conversion.
True.
It's not true. It's what you want to hear, but it's not true. So I think there's different schools of thoughts about it. I also think people have different agendas, but I think it can never replace people.
Yeah.
People are made of stars. You're made of the same stuff that makes everything in the solar system. I don't think a piece of machine can replace that.
But some hope, guys.
For sure.
Some hope. I love that. I have really loved this conversation. Like, it's been so insightful. I've been so excited, like you can see. Like, I feel like it's one of the episodes that just has valuable takeaways.
That's true.
And for me, especially, talking about like the creator economy and also just like the creative space and also the stakeholders in it, just touching on all fronts has just been very exciting for me.
Thank you so much.
And Kasozi, we need you on more podcasts, because you're a genius. Let's start there. And as well, you're bringing up issues that really need to be solved, like in the now. Pain points, for both sides, creators and also like brands, and also like for the audience, right? You're a strategist. I can really see it. And, like one of the things I say I'm a marketing strategist, but you're on another.
No way. I think, no, thank you so much for having me.
No, first take your flowers. Don't say
okay,
no
let
way.
me take my flowers. I'm really bad. I'm horrible at this.
At compliments, yeah. And I think the thing with strategy as well is also being very in tune with what's happening in culture, right? And I think you bring that out so well. And that's why I tell you you're a genius, because you really are. You are really in tune with what's happening, and you're able to actualize that and bring it into something. And, there's proof of concept. So please, first, take your flowers.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. This happening on camera is like my nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I mean, no, I think that's the only way it can happen. I think, we have to break the rules.
Yeah.
I keep saying it's time we break the rules. I think you can, build whatever you want to build. I always say you should build, or rather, it's not me who said this, but I saw this somewhere. I was saying, build things you wish existed. So whatever, you feel like, keeps you up at night, whatever gets you so riled up that you rant about it, you should do something about it. And I think we all can try and do something about it, and I'm trying to do that.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
And of course, I usually end the episode with like 3 questions that's probably off topic. So let me get into it.
Sure.
Don't worry, nothing crazy. The first question is your name, Tizomu Kasozi. Love it. I need you to tell us more about it. Just because I feel like such a different name. It's so unique.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Ugandan.
So you are Ugandan?
I am Ugandan.
Oh, wow.
But I am Kenyan Ugandan.
Okay.
My dad is Kenyan. My
Yeah.
mom is Ugandan. But I adopted the names from Uganda. I also have a random Kenyan name, but if I send you M-PESA, you'll see. But what it means is, which is interesting, Tizomu, I think it's Kasozi. Kasozi means,
So Kasozi and Tizomu are Ugandan names?
They're Ugandan names. So Kasozi means, it's a garden.
Okay.
Right? In fact, if you check, I think Museveni is one of his big farms is called Kasozi.
Hey, Kasozi.
It's called Kasozi, but I'm not in any way related to that. And Tizomu means a peak. I think it's a peak in Ruwenzori.
A peak.
Yeah, like a mountain peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was always very curious. Like, anytime I had your name, I was always like,
what does this mean?
yeah. And
where's this from?
Where is he from? And
I know. Most people do always feel like, because of the Zs, they feel like it's South African.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
actually, that's where like my mind was.
Literally everyone who hears it for the first time thinks that, but no, it's from the Pearl of Africa.
And you actually look easy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, I guess.
And then now you've tapped into
and the music.
scene.
I know, I kind of see the whole vibe. I see it.
You can't fight it. All right. I love it. And then I think my second question is, what's the number one rule in strategy? Or would you say?
Oh, number one rule in strategy. There used to be so many. There were, don't do long decks. Don't always have the challenge. No, I think the most important one is problems. I think you need to understand the problem, or understand the challenge, or understand the barrier you're trying to get over. Otherwise, what are you trying to solve? Because strategy is a problem-solving tool that we all have. That we, if you're trying to go, think about it. If you're driving between here and like CBD, the only time you'll be like, okay, let me try and be strategic about the traffic is when the traffic is high. Yeah. Right? And we're like, okay, I need to get over this, and I have a meeting that I have to get to. So strategy is problem solving, and when you're problem solving, I think you need to understand your challenge. And if you understand your challenge very, very well, they always say good solutions and good ideas come from good problems as well. So I think that's the number one.
I love it. Kitikawe.
Everything else is probably pointless. I think strategy is fluid.
Yeah.
There was a time when people had so many rules around it. I don't think that's true. I think as long as you're solving a problem in a creative way, and you understand the problem and you have a creative way of solving it,
you're good to go.
You're good to go.
Okay. The other question is, when was your best DJ set? Like, do you remember the night or the sunset?
I remember, I just got like hairs behind my back. The number one, absolutely, was when we were December 2024, Sunset Groove anniversary, and I was playing a very late set, I think between 2 and 4 thereabouts. And midway through that set, the set was so good, Chronicle Deep came back on stage. He played earlier and he was like, I'm coming to do a back-to-back with you. And we played. I really hate that night also because I feel like we never recorded it. And if you know Chronicle Deep, he plays deep house, but I don't think you've heard him on Afro Tech, because that night we were playing Afro Tech, and it was a beautiful, beautiful night and set. So that's the one.
I love it. But some moments are not recorded.
That's true. That's true. That's true. It belongs to the universe.
Yeah, and the moment, the people, the energy there.
Yeah, it belonged to that moment. You're right.
Love it. My last question.
Sure.
in another life or maybe another universe, if you are not doing strategy, marketing, or being a DJ, what would you be?
Footballer.
Ooh.
It's right there. A footballer. Let me tell you, my number one love of my life is football. It's the one thing I think I remember loving.
Yeah. Growing
up. And I always say, if I'm not playing football, I'm probably in a bad place. The times in my life when I haven't been playing football have been very weird places. But yeah, I wish that's all I did.
Yeah.
I wish that's all I did. It would be beautiful and I'd have a lot of money.
Sure. Look at how like Isaac is smiling.
Exactly.
Just like,
Same.
Same.
Gets it. He knows what I'm talking about.
I have to ask this. What team do you support? Be proud.
I just got instantly depressed.
Well,
I used to support Manchester United. The Red Devils.
Yeah.
But I think I don't even like football that way anymore.
It broke your heart.
It broke my heart in so many ways, and has broken so many people's hearts.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, let it be United.
Yeah.
But
for now,
I want to say formally. I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't support football. I watch it. You appreciate
the
game and the players. And
are you like
philosophical.
in the middle? Because I've recently been watching football because we're trying to put something together.
Yeah.
And it's how, like, I think the first game that they were playing, it's how excited they were, and they're just like, yeah, we have a good team. And I think they were playing with Arsenal, right? And they were actually playing really well, and Arsenal wasn't really, but Arsenal ended up winning the game.
Yeah.
And then I think after that, it's just been,
I know. Like, let me tell you, that's the best time for United fans is when they're fantasizing about. Yeah, we now have a new player, and before
new coach,
before the season starts, the best time, or before the game starts, the best time for United fans. Everything after that changes. And yeah, man, I get you guys. Everyone who's remained a United fan even after this, I think you're stronger than everyone.
And loyal. To a fault.
You guys are goated because I don't know how you're able to do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I love it. So I think the last time we had an Arsenal fan, and then now this time we have a new fan. So it's exciting. It's exciting to have that.
Exciting. Big drop, I guess. If you look at where Arsenal is. But anyway, I'm joking.
Thank you so much, Kasozi. This has been amazing. Thank you for being my first guest to season 2 of the Powerhouse, and I'm going to definitely have you for many more because I feel like you need to be on podcasts. You need to be amplifying everything that you have. So at least for this one, I'm so excited. We were your first. Drum rolls.
You never forget your first.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me, Shirley. I love everything about this. I think the time flew. I was nervous a little bit when it started, but I think you made this so comfortable. So thank you so much for having me. I think you're doing beautiful with this.
Thank you so much.
And good luck to your season.
Oh, thank you so much. It's going to be a good one. With you starting it off, the bar has been set high for the next guests.
Definitely.
All right. Bye, guys. Until the next one. Ciao.
Cheers.